Hello, hello to all of our change makers. And it's been a little while since we've had the opportunity to do an interview, but we're so excited. Today, we're up in the amazing part of the world called Nova Scotia in Canada. And we are so excited to welcome Miss Natascha.
Thank you
Natascha,
for having
please
me.
tell people a little bit about you and what you do.
So, yes, I'm Natasha. I'm a burnout survivor of more than 25 years, turned burnout recovery guide. I help people that are overwhelmed and stressed to reconnect to their body so they can find a happier and healthier life. I myself, as I said, have the story. I'm also an immigrant from Germany. In 19 years ago, I went to Canada and never regretted it. So if the accent is kind of weird, that's usually the German that's coming through.
It's all good. You sound just perfect to me.
Thank
Well,
you.
help people understand when you say get reconnected to your body. I'm not sure everybody understands that concept.
So when you are in stress and overwhelm, when you are mentally challenged, you're usually stuck in your head, which means you're
Mm,
completely ignoring all the signs that your body gives you to say stop, to change direction, to be aware that something might not be serving you or might be actually dangerous for you. And we are just in our head, and our head says, yeah, that's the right direction. Keep on going. It's fine. And there's the cliff, and you fall down. That's not the
mm,
way it wants to be.
wow.
Um, so if you reconnect with your body, if you learn to talk to your body and listen to your body, which is the bioenergetic wellness part of my work that we do here, is we actually talk to the body in a way that it used to be called muscle testing. Now we call it in Canada muscle monitoring because we're not testing muscles, we're testing an energetic shift.
Ah,
That's one part. So you can make your body the pendulum that tells you something. You just got to
mhm,
learn to listen, and you got to learn to ask the right question. The other part is listening to your intuition, which is your body takes in information all the time. Your subconsciousness reads the information, all the little vibrations around you, and gives them back as intuition. And how often do we ignore that?
mm.
The gut feeling, that sour taste in our mouth. And we have so many sayings in our world that relate to our five senses, and we go like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound right." That's one of them. Uh, it doesn't taste right in my mouth, so that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. That actually knots my stomach or makes me sick to my stomach,
Mm.
whatever you say. All of those are actually sayings that relate back to our intuition, and we completely ignore them.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And, we say these things without thinking about it at all. And yet they are definitely key indicators of things that we should become more aware of. Wow, that's amazing. So
It's
tell us a little bit about about you. What led you to this specific track that you are on? I mean, was there a turning point, a significant event of some sort?
There were quite a few, and still I ignored them. So one
Ooh,
was that in Germany I was working for Siemens, huge company,
yes.
and I just before I started my first training in Ayurveda, I had a blood pressure of 140 over 120.
Ooh, ooh.
Uh-huh. And I went to the company doctor and I said, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll wait 3 days if it settles down, and then you can go in the like if need be, we'll send you to the hospital." That was the 3 days of year end.
Mm, mm,
And I took all my trainings every time I was the worst case. So intuitively, I go and find the things that help me. I wasn't aware at the time when I did it, but when I look back now, it was always exactly when I needed it. Um, I learned about the sound, the singing bowls in that first training, and then I took a sound therapist training in Germany. And the interesting part was that all of a sudden I had peace of mind when I was with the singing bowls. So tapping the singing bowls will allow my brain to go into a mode where nothing is important. Thoughts come in, but they can go. I don't have to hold on. Not the typical brain that you have when you're burnout or other mental challenges, right? You usually go in that circle and circle and circle. The singing
mhm.
bowls won't allow that. They come in and they just go. The thoughts are not important. Anything that is important is you being you right now. And so over time, and it's been a long journey, as I said, 25 years. uh,
Wow.
there were some things that stuck out more than others. And looking back, I go like, I'm lucky that I'm still alive because I drove 80 kilometers without knowing that I drove them. So brain
Wow.
fog was really, really challenging for times. Other thing was I would come home, sit on the couch, and would wake up 3 hours later. Not wake up, but become aware again 3 hours later to go to bed.
Oh my.
And
Mm.
I found a naturopath who checked my adrenals and gave me a supplement, and all of that within 3 days I had my brain back. And it
Mm.
can be so simple, but we don't know, and people don't talk, and burnout is still a stigma. Mental health challenge is a stigma anyway.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
there are simple things that we can do to support our health that bring us back to life. And in that brain fuck situation, you are actually in survival mode, so you're not thriving, you're just barely living, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you
Oh
don't see it when you're stuck in it. You don't see
no.
the point. You're not aware. So that's normal for you, and but it's not normal.
It's not, and that's why you need a guide to help you navigate back out of that mess, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Well, and obviously you've had the opportunity to learn much through your own experiences, but I'm curious, do you have a story of somebody you've helped that would help people to better understand exactly what you do?
So I have worked with the sound with PTSD in person,
Hmm.
and my client shared her story last year at Helping the Helpers, which is a peer-to-peer support group.
Okay.
Um, that meets once a year here in Nova Scotia, and basically her story is that she was in therapy, she tried all kinds of things, but the final kick out of it was the sound and floating. So she did the NEPS is the Epsom salt floats.
Mm.
What happened with me is that I provide a sound bath. Basically, you're sitting in a zero gravity chair, and I have singing bowls underneath you and on you, and then we talk through whatever is important for you at the moment, or you can just rest because my work is non-judgmental and it's always based on what you need at the moment, not what I think you need.
Mhm.
So the sound provides a safe space, while the singing bowls on you will provide somatic experiences. So you have a sonosomatic experience altogether, and that allows you to tap into things that you usually don't want to deal with.
Mhm.
And the more often you do that, the more the singing bowls get you. And then I have the ability, being trained in sound, I hear stressors in your voice. So I can tie in with questions. So I can start asking the questions and have you think about the situations. And then we find resolutions with using some tools like ESRs, which is emotional stress release, or we're cutting energetic cords, all kinds of things that are based on the energetic work.
Wow. Wow. I love it. And PTSD has become so prevalent with so many people. I mean, I just love the fact that, there's more and more ways that we can help people break through,
Yeah.
because that is just, it does. It requires a breakthrough so people can have hope and be able to see a path forward. So thank you for the work you're doing.
The choose love movement has a nice saying. That's what we learned when me and colleagues worked with them here from Canada. They don't use PTSD, they use PTG, which is post traumatic growth instead of
Ooh,
syndrome.
I
So you're
like
switching
that.
the narrative. You're switching from I'm barely thriving, I'm in the syndrome, I'm stuck in that label, to here is my empowering word that actually gives me emphasis to move forward, because there's no growth, no evolve. Like you don't evolve without trauma at all, and no matter how small it is,
Yep.
trauma is always the impetus to get you going, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so when you shift to that perspective, change your language to I'm not a victim, no, I'm a survivor, I'm not stuck in it, I use it as my board to jump off and evolve into something else, right?
Wow. Wow. I love that post traumatic growth. I got to remember that because, yes, I do a lot in the mental wellness world as well. And I definitely want to adopt that. So thank you for that. Amazing. Well, do you have any big visions for the future? Anything that you can see yourself being involved with in a bigger way?
So coming from the corporate world, going into the healing world, my wish would be for people to realize that if you are in an energetic alignment, if you're resonating with what you're doing and what you surround yourself with, your business thrives too, because you're not stuck in that. You're not building up blocks. That's the thing.
Hmm.
The easiest way to describe it is if you're in the middle of a stream and you don't want to go with the stream, but you have something different, you want to be like diverting off that stream, you cannot build a wall because the wall will be smashed. But if you build a little branch off and you have the mainstream run past you, you're creating flow in a different direction
Yes. I
instead
like.
of being that wall that won't let you through.
Hmm. Creating flow in a different direction. That's a great visual for sure because yeah, so many people come up against walls and they just at least mentally they don't think there's a way to be able to change.
the the fun part with energy is you don't have to stand this way. You can stand this way and then it just flows by.
I love it. I love it. Oh, well, that is great. That is great. Whoa. Okay. So it sounds like you've got a lot of different modalities that you're working together. I hear about the bowls, but you said you also studied Ayurveda?
I started off with Ayurveda. I like I like working with people, and Ayurveda was a way into the healing modalities without doing like a massage training for years and years and years. But the Ayurvedic training is way more encompassing, and it's not that I imply it right now, other than I got to know about the singing bowls and I got hooked on the singing bowls. And then I studied with Peter Hess. Well, I was here in Canada. I went back twice to Germany and did work with Peter Hess and his teachers, and learned Klang massage in Germany, sound massage. So basically, you use singing bowls on the body, which is not. It's becoming more known since he started in '87, and
Hmm.
it's worldwide now as a modality. But the interesting part in that is you have the sonosomatic experience.
Okay.
And Peter learned very early when he traveled to India that he in Tibet, not India, Tibet, India, and he found out that the singing bowls were a way to provide a quiet sound therapy, while sound therapy in in the Asian areas is always loud and noisy and chaotic. And our Western minds are so overwhelmed with all the things that we have going on, we cannot cope with that for the most part.
Mm.
So he approached it from a very quiet and gentle approach, to be on the body, to be a safe space and not overwhelming.
Hmm. Okay.
And having learned and trained with him and other teachers, I came to the part like I love the practice because I can cover you with 5 blankets and you will still get the vibration, you will still get the sound.
Wow.
People who have issues with their bodies, it's amazing. People who have issues with their mental health, it's amazing. So you can help everybody. It's one of the best things that you can do for somebody else.
Wow. Wow. You just reminded me of something I went through many years ago because I remember going through a period where I was just stressed to the max and I went to a chiropractor here in the US and he had something that he called a music table.
Mhm.
And I remember laying on that table and the music would play and vibrate through that whole table. So it sounds similar to what you're describing.
Yeah, so the with the singing bowls, it's just the sound and comes from above, not from underneath. So
Mhm.
you have at the same time the weight of the singing bowls on you that vibrate deeply into your tissue. And
Wow.
when I started and incorporated my work and created my own modality, which is bioenergetic vibrational tuning, the singing bowls are also part underneath you and on you, because you just create that bigger picture, that bigger bubble that people are safe in. And yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you
There's a
just
lot
said
of
a
things that
big
come together.
you said a big word, bioenergetic vibrational tuning. Is that
Yes,
what you
that's what I
said?
call it. Well, I we changed the name for the Canadian Association of Specialized Kinesiology in 2019, 18, 19, something like that, because kinesiology is a legalized word for the college in Ontario. So we're
Ah,
not allowed to use it. And the college started to follow up on that and find our members. And
mhm.
in 2019 we changed to bioenergetic wellness, because we realized we don't do kinesiology, we don't do muscle testing, we do energetic work. We tie into the energetic shifts in your body. And doing that allowed us to, first of all, open up for a wider membership and public, because we're not just touch for health, which was the basis for specialized kinesiology. It's a modality,
Mhm.
but we are also now incorporating nat- my brain's gone. Brain gym, natural bioenergetics, therapeutic touch, touch for health. So we have a whole bunch of modalities who came all of a sudden in as partners and members. And our members, most of them have not just one modality, they work with multiple modalities, and that opens up the playing field. So you all of a sudden have so much more tools that you can work with, and your understanding gets bigger. Because if you work with therapeutic touch, for instance, which was mine before I started with touch for health, it's similar like Reiki. You learn to assess the energy. So you learn to be aware of the energetic interaction between you and the person in front of you that you work with. You learn to read the cues that the energy is giving you, so you modulate the way that you work with the other person by the interaction of the energies. And having that awareness, you become aware of if you're grounded or not. And if you're, as the practitioner, are you not grounded, how do you want to work with somebody else who's not grounded? Right? So you're building up energy between two people that can go nowhere. But being grounded, you are aware, you are present, and you are more open to receive the cues that are there, so you can be better for the other person.
Gotcha. Wow. Love it. Thank you for that explanation. And yes, I mean it is I forget, was it Einstein or somebody else who talked about the whole idea that the future of medicine should become more about energy. And that's exactly what I hear you describing. So
Well,
that
if
is
if you if
fabulous.
you take the word, so in Germany it's Gesundheit. In English you say being of sound body, mind, and soul. The word
Mm,
in there is sound, resonating, frequency, interaction, right?
yes. Yes.
And gesund based on the same word, it's also sound. But in Germany, we lost that, so we switched into healing, into heilen, and that word. And the loss of that connection of anything, again, it's the same thing like with your awareness, with your intuition, with your five senses. We have all the cues in our language, but we don't see it,
Mm,
right?
wow. Amazing stuff. I love it. I love it. Well, please tell folks, how in the world can they find Natasha?
Well, I have a website that's called Turn Up the Frequency.
Ah, I like that.
And it's also my handle on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn is Natascha Polomski, like my full name.
Mhm.
Um, Reach out, look what I do, and I just started my mentoring program for burnout. So if you think you might be in burnout, I have a clarity call. If you think you need somebody to be your sounding board, who knows what you're going through, I'm here for you.
Wow. I love it. Super duper. Well, that is all good. And definitely after this video is posted, we invite you to put your contact information under the videos so that people can easily find it. And hopefully, you'll find some folks who you guys can create some win-win situations together, because that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you have some final words of wisdoms you'd like to leave people with today?
So one of the first things that I tell my clients is, how do you breathe? Are you aware of your breath?
Mm.
Because none of us is. And how do you breathe when you're in stress? Not at all. So be aware where your breath is, then you know how stressed you are, and you can cope it by breathing.
Ah.
Just breathe into your belly, because that brings you back to yourself. So basically, that's what we do in therapeutic touch. You breathe into your belly, and breathing into your center brings all the parts that are out there, all the frazzledness, it brings it all back together. So you're present and you're in within yourself. And I visualize breathing out of my feet, which directs the energy flow into the ground, and that's your grounding. So the energy can flow freely through. You're not taking anything on, you're not collecting anything, and you have always enough to share if you need, and through you. And then all of a sudden, everything becomes calm.
I've never heard anybody talk about sending their breath down through their feet, but that makes such sense, because I know I had a chiropractor at one point in time who told me very simply, if you just look at the word emotion, it's supposed to be about energy in motion, right?
Mhm.
And anything we can do to keep it flowing out so it doesn't get trapped within is definitely going to help improve our health and well-being.
Yeah, it's the simplest step. It's the first step that you can take to care for yourself, is make sure you're breathing, and just become aware of it. Because again, we usually go like like very shallow, or you get stressed and then you don't breathe at all.
Yeah, we kind of hold hold it.
Yeah, and what does that create? Nothing good.
Nothing good. Awesome, awesome. Well, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. And to all of our wonderful change makers, I hope that you enjoy this interview. And if you are somebody who has some challenges that Natascha might be able to help, please reach out to her. But if you think that you might somehow have a good way to collaborate with her too, that's a big piece we are encouraging in this group, is bring the healers together, because everybody has some slightly different specializations, slightly different modalities that we're working with. And when we can bring those together, we create a stronger and stronger puzzle that becomes more and more amazing solutions. So thank you all for watching, and thank you for being here, Natascha. And we wish you all an amazing day. We'll see you all in the next interview. Take care, everybody.